Welcome to Radio 64. Welcome to Radio 64, Video Game Music Remix Radio. I'm your host, Eric Mickles, also known online as duskvstweak. Radio 64 is part of the Radio Meanwhile network. Visit radiomeanwhile.com for more information about this and other great podcasts. Find past episodes of Radio 64 on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And thank you to WRAQ 92.7 FM in Angelica, New York for hosting us every Monday at 6 p.m. The song we opened the show with is called Dark Awaits by RoeTaKa from ocremix.org from the game Hunt, Showdown. very new song to the site. I like it. It's got this kind of like gospel vibe, this kind of old school Western vibe to it. I have not played Hunt Showdown. In fact, this track is the first time I've even heard the name Hunt Showdown. If this remix is anything to go by, seems like it might be a cool game. Next up, we have a remix of Terra from Final Fantasy VI. This is an older one, but it's one that I think has stood the test of time. Gosh, it came out in 2000. This is a 20-year-old mix. It starts a little bit with the synth piano, kind of similar to the actual source of Terra's theme, that snowy, somber piece. But then Ailsean here just comes in and tears the roof off the joint with his guitar. This is our showcase for an electric guitar having fun with the Terra theme. And I love when he starts improvising off of Terra's theme as well. So Terra, one of my favorite pieces of music in video games. Final Fantasy VI, one of my favorite video games of all time. This is Terra in Black by Ailsean from ocremakes.org from the game Final Fantasy VI. That was Terra in Black by Ailsean from ocremix.org from the game Final Fantasy VI. He brings those synths back, and it's nice. I like the pretty piece. I like when Terra's theme is done in a pretty style, but that electric, it's all about that electric. A quieter piece coming up from Halo, the first Halo, Combat Evolved. Sarah 117. I cannot remember if that means anything. It has been so long since I played the first Halo. It opens up with, similar to that Final Fantasy VI mix, it opens up with some quiet piano, and then the strings and the woodwinds just take over. It's a really beautiful orchestral piece of the Halo theme. I mean, the Halo theme, when it first came out, that was like an instant classic, that piece of music. It was just instantly added to the pantheon of great video game music in 2001. It did not take long, that Marty O'Dowd, Michael Salvatore theme. So this is Sierra 117 by Laura Platt from ocremix.org from the game Halo Combat Evolved. That was Sierra 117 by Laura Platt from ocremix.org from the game Halo Combat Evolved. I'm excited to replay Halo once they put out that they put out Halo Reach, but they're doing all the collection with the big Master Chief collection for PC. So I'm excited. I'm excited to play Halo again. This is a piece that came up on Shuffle as I was digging through songs to play for this episode. It's called Heavenly Horrors by DigiE. It's from the game Corpse Party, game and series I had to look up. It's a group of visual novels, from what I can tell, that actually started back on like RPG Maker. I think what kind of caught my attention the most was that this song has kind of like a Castlevania energy to it. Something I tend to connotate with Castlevania, this very like kinetic, energetic tempo. And it's because DigiE did Castlevania's the Castle of Tears remix that we played a couple of episodes ago. This track fits right next to that. It almost feels like a sibling of it. This one might even be more energetic. It might have more adrenaline running through its veins. It seems heavier. So this is Heavenly Horrors by DigiE from ocremix.org from the game Corpse Party. was Heavenly Horrors by DigiE from ocremix.org from the game Corpse Party. I can't think of a visual novel I have played. I've been meaning to play Doki Doki Literature Club because it was free, but I haven't done it yet. It's not even supposed to be that long. This song is a Mario Kart song, and it's called Happy Breakfast. And the reason I'm making sure the title is out there is because it's got this... I like this song for multiple levels. It's called Happy Breakfast, and posu Jan's lyrics are just kind of about... It's really just about breakfast. It's not about Mario Kart. It's about having your fruits and your toast and just starting your day off better if you have a good breakfast, and how a happy breakfast leads to a happy day. Love it. It takes that the Mario Circuit theme from Mario Kart and just makes it this jazzy, sweet little tune. The lyrics are cute. It's a fun tune. For me, I guess with the term Happy Breakfast and Super Mario Kart was one of those games that I would play while waiting for the bus to come for school when I was very young. And I would play the game while eating breakfast, or I'd eat the breakfast really fast and then play Super Mario Kart, and then the bus would come. And so it's weird. The song has nothing to do with that, but because it called it Happy Breakfast, now whenever I hear this song, I can't help but think of when I was young, just happily playing Mario Kart after eating my toast and bowl of cereal, waiting for the school bus. So personally, it works on a few levels. I hope you just like the happy little bouncy tune that this is. This is Happy Breakfast by posu Jan from ocremix.org from the game Super Mario Kart.
Hello, rise and shine. Don't you know the time? They will pass you by. Lots of things to do, strategies to think through, 'cause the race is soon. Start the day out right with some fruit delight, joy with every bite. Mangoes and cherries, grapes and strawberries, yummy so very. So relax, unwind your overthinking mind with a bowl of fun with light. Everything's just fine out in the warm sunshine. Happy breakfast, so enjoy the view, fresh breezy ocean blue, at a table set for two, with our stomachs satisfied, no way we can lose. Happy breakfast to you. So start the day out right with some fruit delight, joy with every bite. Mangoes and cherries, grapes and strawberries, yummy so very. So relax, unwind your overthinking mind with a bowl of fun with light. Everything's just fine out in the warm sunshine. Happy breakfast, so enjoy the view, fresh breezy ocean blue, at a table set for two, with our stomachs satisfied, no way we can lose. Happy breakfast to you.
That was Happy Breakfast by posu Jan from ocremix.org from the game Super Mario Kart. I think everything just really blends well in that song. The vocals work with the chip tunes. The chip tunes work with the more jazzier instruments. It's a fun tune. It's one of those things that might be too pure for this world. I actually just bought this game, Tangledeep. It was on a big sale with its DLC. Tangledeep, whose soundtrack is done by zykO, whose music we have played on this show. This is one of those atmospheric, chill pieces of music where you can just imagine going through this 16-bit forest. It feels like a song that should just be, by itself, the background to a video game set on like the Super Nintendo. It comes from a whole album, the Tangledeep Arranged album. The song is called Dreams of the Deep by PRYZM and DrumUltimA from ocremakes.org from the game Tangledeep. That was Dreams of the Deep by PRYZM and DrumUltimA from ocremakes.org from the game Tangledeep. I like a roguelike, I like a JRPG, I like a Super Nintendo style game. I have a confession to make. I never played Perfect Dark. I don't know if it was because it was rated M back on the Nintendo 64 and back in 2000, though I probably would have played it anyway. I had GoldenEye, and I know Perfect Dark was supposed to be a GoldenEye-ish sequel that has some frame rate issues, but I just never picked it up, and that's probably too bad because I think the 64 game is probably harder to go back to these days. But I like this track. It keeps that soundscape that Rare usually had on their games, especially like GoldenEye. It feels very similar to the GoldenEye soundtrack, especially those like snowier levels in GoldenEye. So I guess I'm talking more GoldenEye than Perfect Dark here. But yeah, the beat, it almost has like a marching tune to it without losing that kind of foggy atmosphere. So this is Clandestine by Krispy from ocremakes.org from the game Perfect Dark. That was Clandestine by Krispy from ocremix.org from the game Perfect Dark. We got a Mega Man 2 track here. This is another vocal track. Remixing and singing is Akumajo Belmont. And they've taken the Dr. Wily's stage music, the famous Dr. Wily stage, and given it this kind of... I haven't really been... It gives it these lyrics, and I haven't really been able to figure out what it reminds me of. I feel like I get something from the 80s here. It's not Tears for Fears. It's not Bryan Adams. It's this mix of... It's like it's its own thing that came out of the 80s in some ways. The lyrics being mainly that this song is for you. It's kind of a love song, an unrequited love song in some ways. But I've listened to this song quite a bit over the years, and now when I hear the Dr. Wily stage, I can't actually escape these lyrics, because now whenever the chorus is ending, I hear this song is for you. It's kind of ruined the Wily stage theme music for me. This is For You by Akumajo Belmont from ocremix.org from the game Mega Man 2.
Unspoken, with silence to blame. How she tries to gain the courage to understand why it came to be this way. These words of wisdom, time and again, go unheard. He knows it's not her fault, that it was all in vain. We all bleed the same. Our differences are great, but not enough to separate us from their lies. We tried, we did our best. Why can't you look into my eyes? And she said, my friend, you know there's nothing we can do. Just let it go. Secrets never show themselves. You learn to just move on. Till then, this song is for you. And he said, the only way to learn is to experience the pain. In that way we're the same. Oh, they turned around and parted ways. This song is for you. So it's been written through the ages of time, from pens of ancient masters to prose of the modern mind. A tale to be told. And now we find them holding on to their faith. They've tried all that they could, but we know it's just too late to not end up alone. The jury overthrown. The differences are few, but not enough to see them through. It's such a shame. They wonder who's to blame, or is it just that we're the same? And she said, my friend, you know there's nothing we can do. Just let it go. Secrets never show themselves. You learn to just move on. Till then, this song is for you. And he said, the only way to learn is to experience the pain. In that way we're the same. Oh, they turned around and parted ways.
was For You by Kumajo Belmont from ocremix.org from the game Mega Man 2. I don't know if this will help anyone who might not have the same reference point, but it almost sounds like one of the slower songs you would hear in Dance Dance Revolution. The way his voice is being auto-tuned, the synth sound, while keeping that kind of poppy beat. It sounds like one of those like 80, 90 BPM songs from Konami's Dance Dance Revolution track. So maybe that's what it reminds me of, and there's a lot of 80s inspired tunes from that. That reference might not be for a lot of people. So Terranigma, which I don't believe ever got a North American release, a Japanese role-playing game, OCR put out a huge album recently called Paths Less Traveled. So I don't know too much about it. I actually had to listen to the source tune by itself to see how much of it I recognized from this tune. And I think it keeps the original sound. It's remixing the Further Into the Wide World track from Terranigma. It kind of gives it this Wild West vibe, I think, at the beginning. Maybe that gallopy sound at the start. I just love the acousticness of this all. So this is Brave New World by jnWake, featuring zykO, Ilpo, Ivan Hakštok, Trev Wignall, and Jorito from ocremix.org's album Paths Less Traveled, Terranigma. That was Brave New World by jnWake, featuring zykO, Ilpo, Ivan Hakštok, Trev Wignall Jorito from OC Remixed album Paths Less Traveled, Terranigma. Another energetic piece comes from The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, the ending track, the end credits, the end of the story for Link to the Past, the Mirror Image album, A Link to the Past Remixed. The end credits to The Link to the Past are just so congratulatory, and the music is just so peaceful and fun, and you really feel like you've done something in that game at the end. You feel like you made the world a better place because of that. DDRKirby has taken that, and there's some glitching chiptune in here. It's a very high energy electronica piece. Apparently what DDRKirby was going for was trying to get the Legend of Zelda music here, the ending theme, and look through a lens of the Super Nintendo game Gradius, specifically Gradius 3, one of those spaceship shoot-em-ups. And when I listen to this now, that's exactly what I hear. It's that Gradius, Xenon, those spaceship bullet hell kind of games. Yeah, good job, DDRKirby. You did it. And you know what? I still hear the Zelda music in there 100%. It doesn't lose the congratulatory feel to it, like a pat on the back. Now go party. This is a Link to the Future by DDRKirby ISQ from ocremix.org from the game The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. That was A Link to the Future by DDRKirby, ISQ, from ocremix.org, from the game The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Specifically, the album Mirror Image: A Link to the Past Remix, which is a great album. It's pretty short. The soundtrack to Link to the Past is amazing, but not super long, so this album was fantastic. We've played a few tracks from that before. Definitely give that whole thing a listen. That was the last track of the show, so thank you for listening to Radio 64 Video Game Music Remix Radio. I have been your host, Eric Mickles, also known online as duskvstweak. You can find me on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, all those cool places under duskvstweak. And Radio 64 is part of the Radio Meanwhile network. You can visit radiomeanwhile.com for more information about this and other great podcasts. Find past episodes of Radio 64 on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And thank you to WRAQ 92.7 FM in Angelica, New York for hosting us every Monday at 6 p.m. See you next time.